Dear SEO expert, you suck. Okay, let's do something cool. Hey guys, before we get into the video, I want you to hit that subscribe button right here. Jake's gonna put this right here. So when it comes to SEO, search engine optimization, who actually knows what that is? Like 95% of people, 99 probably, don't know what actually SEO is. Like the SEO experts will tell you some mumbo jumbo where it's like, hey, I'm gonna go and find the keywords and optimize your website, and I'm gonna get it to rank on a Google, right? That's pretty much all you hear, and that's pretty much all you know as a business owner. And so I'm gonna tell you the real secrets behind the scenes of what all these SEO people are telling you and why they're ripping you off. Once upon a time, I used to be on the other side of the table as someone who ran a business, and I didn't know anything about digital marketing or SEO, websites, none of that. Like I used to be that guy before I decided to get into marketing and start a digital agency. So I'm just like you. I talked to an SEO expert and I got the spiel and said, yeah, we're gonna rank for hundreds of keywords, thousands of keywords, and we're gonna get you to rank on the Google. And I remember that spiel, and I remember thinking, man, this is gonna be amazing. You know what happened? Every single month went by and I had no fucking clue what that person was doing. And you know why? It's because I honestly don't think they were doing that much. And so I'm gonna tell you the 5 parts, the 5 things you need to do to actually rank on Google. You don't have to pay an ongoing SEO guy or girl to do this for you. So this is what I call the Dear SEO Guy, you suck formula. Okay, so before I go into these 5 points, I am gonna make this disclaimer. You SEO guys are gonna hate on me in this video. You're gonna be like, oh no, that's not what it takes to be SEO guy. Like you need to be doing all these SEO stuff. And you know what my response is there? Go ahead and bring the hate, because I just don't give a shit. Because they're so full of shit, man. Part number 1 is, yes, you do need to hire an SEO person to optimize the core pages of your website. So what I mean by core pages, I mean your homepage, about page, maybe like a services page, a contact page, and like just the main pages that are on your site that never really change. So you need somebody to optimize those. And then you also need somebody to do the proper keyword research on what keywords are best to optimize your website for based off what you do for a living. So a side note, if you're talking to an SEO person and they ask you for your top 10 12 keywords, I would run away, because the fact is they are supposed to be the expert, not you. And so why are they asking you for keywords? That makes absolutely no sense. That's almost like me having to go in to go get surgery on my body, and then the brain surgeon ask me where I think that they should cut on my head. Why would they ask me that? They don't, because you know why? They are the surgeon. I am not. So that's point number 1. Go get your core pages optimized. Hire somebody to do that and hire them to do the keyword research. Point number 2 is go get all your directory listings all up to par. So what I mean by that, the main one is your Google business listing. It is free. Go claim that listing. You're gonna have to do a verification where they send you a postcard in the mail and they send you a code or whatever, but it's free. Go do it. Complete that profile and make sure your Google listing is complete. And then what you do after that, you want to go and update probably the biggest 12 directories that live on the interweb, which, you know, involve like Yelp, Yahoo, Bing, like there's the big 12, right? So what you want to do is you want to go to moz.com. That's MOZ.com. go to the local listings, and it will cost you $100 a year, I think, at least to the time of this recording, and they will do that automatically for you. Just link your Google business listing with the service that they have, and they will do that for you over a span of several months, and it costs you $100 a year for them to keep that up to date. Because what you want to do with your directory listings is you want all of your stuff to be exactly the same across the board. Your name, your business name, your address, your phone number, your website, the categories you're listed under. All of those need to be exactly the same to the character. So for example, if your address is road, but in some listings you have it all spelled out R-O-A-D, but in some you have R-D abbreviated, then that is a mismatch of information. The search engine crawlers will read R-O-A-D versus R-D. And so when you have everything the same across the board, Google sees that as, okay, you must be in a legitimate business listing, and so they're going to give you a little bit of a bump up in your ranking. Side tip, don't go hire these directory listing companies that will charge you 40, 50 bucks a month to go do this for you. Just go to moz.com. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I'm just a fan of the service, and it will cost you less than $10 a month. So there you go. Point number 3, or part number 3 of this formula is you need to blog. You got to write some blog articles because your core pages on your website is just not enough. You got to have fresh, new content on your website. So there are 2 main goals when it comes to users coming onto your website, right? The traffic that comes to your website, you want them to do 2 things. 1, you want them to engage in your content as much as possible, aka you want them to spend as much time to consume content on your website, because that allows you to do the second thing, which is your second goal, and that's to take action of some sort, whether that's opting into a lead magnet or them actually buying something. A way to do that is fresh new content with your blog articles, and make sure that that content with your blog articles is really good. Like, it has to be good, at least 1,000 words. Put a video on their vlog. Make sure there's like video testimonials kind of sprinkled around your website. But my point number 3 in this formula is to make sure that you are blogging on a consistent basis. I would say probably weekly, the more the better, but just make sure that the content is really good. What you don't want to do is you don't want to just like blog some stuff like 200 words just for sake of checking the box off that you wrote an article, because like Google's gonna see that. They're pretty smart. They're gonna see that the content's crap, because if a user comes on there and they think they're gonna be reading one thing, but then they see there's only like 200 words and they're gonna be like, oh, this sucks, and then they're gonna click off, which is what's called a bounce rate. So you want to decrease your bounce rate as much as possible, because if the bounce rate is low, then Google sees that, okay, this content must be good. I know what you might be thinking, and I know what the experts are thinking, the quote unquote experts. They're thinking, well, your blog articles need to be optimized as well. Well, guess what? If you already know what keywords that you need to rank for, if you pay somebody to do that at the front end, it's gonna change very, very little over time. I would say probably twice a year. You can pay an SEO expert to just do the keyword research to make sure you're trying to rank for the right keywords. But if you have that list, you can write articles based on that keyword or keywords. And then if you stick with the perfect blog post framework, which you can get on my website at getdripify.com/free-tools, you can put the link somewhere here. Go get it. It's free. If you write your blog articles in that framework, that is what we have seen that gets results as far as engagement, readership, and just higher rankings. The 4th part of this formula is social media. Now, this wasn't the case a few years ago. Trying to rank in Google was all about what was on your website and what you were blogging and things like that. That's not the case anymore. Now, what's on your website, blogging, directory listings, social media, all blend in together, because Google now takes into account how much social influence you have in this world. If you have a lot of influence, then you're going to be bumped up in the rankings, right? And so just go Google some topic or some subject matter, and you're gonna see people who have more influence rank higher in that topic. So social influence it's a big factor in ranking in Google. So what you need to do is you need to have the right social media strategy. You need to have tons of social engagement on your social media platforms. So by having good social media where it's super engaging, then that's gonna help you rank in Google. Okay, the fifth part and the final part, which is also the most difficult part, and honestly, this is the thing that's gonna get you the rankings. Just this by itself will get you ranked, and that is getting featured in media. Getting featured in media is going to be the best thing for your website, because like you're getting backlinked. So like if the New York Times were to link to your website, or if you got featured in some magazine or some well-known podcast, that is going to give you really good ranking in the search engines. Because what happens is like if all of these high authority websites are linking to your website, Google thinks, man, this person must be legit. So we're gonna bump that person up really high in the ranking. Now, I do wanna say this because there are some people that like to play the system, and they do these like black hat strategies where they just like, hey, let's go try to generate a whole bunch of links on these really websites that have really low quality, really low authority level websites. Like, don't do that. It's not going to help you out at all. Google's going to see this. They're going to be like, okay, this website's getting linked by a bunch of low, really low, poor authority level websites. Google's going to be like, okay, I know what you're doing. So we're going to not only not bump you up, but we're going to bump you down. So don't do that crap strategy that some of these like so-called experts are trying to get you to do, because they just don't work. This last part of getting featured in media is the most difficult. It is the most rewarding when it comes to ranking high in search engines. So those are the 5 parts to ranking high in Google. And if you're a business owner, just do those 5 things. Get your core pages optimized. Get your directory listings up to par. Blog pretty often. Get your social media game up and get featured in media. And if you are an SEO expert, and you're doing these crazy strategies and to these business owners, and you're charging ongoing for these things, then stop fucking ripping people off.